So when did you get back?
We got back yesterday. So I did the show sitting right by the lake. It was so much fun. And then got in the car and came right back home.
Oh, so you were home all yesterday.
Yeah, I was home all day yesterday.
Cool.
Yes. Yes. It was beautiful there. We were at Rocky Mount, which is a side of Lake of the Ozarks I had never been. It was really fun.
What mile marker is that? Do you know?
I have no idea. It's like way down there. It's not like, where Bagnell Dam and all that. It's like 1 to 10. Yeah, Rocky Mount is actually faster to get there. You go through Jeff City and you're like right there. It's closer than going to like Lake Ozark or Osage Beach. But it's very rural, very country. So even the little mini marts and stuff like that were, right up my alley with all the patriotism and all that going on. And all
hey, Mary Jo, good morning to you. Good morning, Angie. Good morning, Bendy. Good morning, Trisha and Lizzie. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, you're
Lizzie.
fine. You're good.
Get all this stuff here.
I love how Angie always comes on from the UK.
Yeah, but she says, good afternoon. And I'm like, what?
It always blows me away. Like, what? Did I sleep in?
Mm-hmm.
Happy Taco Tuesday, Nancy.
Yeah, welcome to the show before the show. Good morning to Jay and Michelle, of course, Angie and Nancy, Kimberly, Anthony. Appreciate you guys. I don't know if you guys have seen our new videos or not, but we got a lot of really good editing of it. I mean, we're all over the place.
It's so fun. We have a lot.
You're like,
I love watching it because I love to talk to people, and Instagram is blowing up with some haters, and it's hysterical. We have just as many great people.
Lovers,
haters, all of them. It's great. these little clips.
Well,
people are all
really
over.
Done Instagram. Now we're like really pushing Instagram.
Yes, and people are really liking to talk on Instagram after the show.
But we're not on TikTok yet. We need to do more on TikTok.
We do need to do more on TikTok for sure.
I was trying to take the videos from Instagram and Facebook that we and take them over to TikTok, and I can't figure it out.
I don't know that we can do it yet. I tried to do it too, and it's not letting us. So that's probably something we need to talk about with Joe or Alex. But I think TikTok would be great. There's some funny stuff we have going on.
But we do have a lot of those videos, and they're really well done. Alex, and then a terrific intern as well, Chase.
It's going to be great. Yes.
Just loving it. So you can check those out. Our videos, you can share them on Instagram, on Facebook. That's how we promote the show and get things rocking and rolling. They're really good. And hell, if Tabitha's happy, dear God, something's going right.
Yeah, Tabitha's pretty happy with them, and she looks really pretty on them. She looks
not complaining or anything.
No, they're great. Good. It's all good.
All right, we'll go ahead. It's the show before the show. We'll go ahead and get it started here with Cancel This. Drew. Joe, are we ready to rock today or what, dude?
Joe's excited.
Joe.
It's been one of those days.
No, it's not one of those days. We can't show up.
It won't be.
Joe,
anymore, I promise.
it can't be one of those days. All right? Can't be. Are we ready, Joe?
We are.
You don't drink coffee.
I don't.
You need to start. I'm telling you, start drinking the coffee.
I seriously do.
I don't either. But we probably both need to, Joe.
Hey, Joe, let's do the intro again.
Okay.
We're going to start it over on this Tuesday.
Sounds good.
All right. welcome into cancelthisshow.com. Hey, Nicole Jenkins, our good friend. She says good morning to such an amazing crew of people. And of course, we welcome everybody in that we can at least see right now. Angie, Aaron, and Trisha, of course. And Anthony says, never trust anybody that does not drink coffee. I heard that before. Before I drank coffee, I used to look at it and go, really? I don't drink coffee. And then now that I do, I'm like, yep, I agree with it.
I used to drink coffee on a daily basis until, the whole heart thing, which
but there
was a good
was
thing we have a cardiologist coming in.
But there was no heart thing, right? You were fine.
Yeah, well, that's what they were telling me, is there was a heart thing.
But there wasn't.
But there wasn't, apparently.
Do you feel different? Have you been able to get that out of your mind yet?
Not necessarily. No, I haven't gone for my follow-up appointment yet, so they haven't completely released me, and they're not answering questions. So I have no idea exactly what's going on right now.
All right. We appreciate it. Thanks for the update. You're going to be fine. You're going to be good.
Thanks.
We have that there. Jay jumps in and says, hey, the rumor is they're going to be requesting Trump be detained today. Interesting. We'll talk about it all a little bit later. Coming up on the show, you brought up Doc, 8:15. Our new friend, Dr. Gil Vardi, we had him in last week. One of the Midwest St. Louis area's top cardiologists will come in, try to talk some heart health with you. Who was it that wanted me to ask him about long COVID? Was that Tabitha or was that you?
No, it was Tabitha, but I agree with her. But
just what the effects are.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the effects.
We'll get into that with him. We got about a 10-minute segment with him coming up at 9:30 today. Let's get the perspective of the younger people, maybe the 30 and unders. We're going to be talking with the president of the Missouri Young Republicans Association, and they're connected all across the country with what they do. What's moving the needle? What do the younger people care about? Frank will be in studio today to join us live. We'll talk with him about that. The FBI documents are saying that Buresma executive, at least one, according to Senator Grassley, recorded conversations with the Biden crime family. Hell, remember when we thought the Clintons were the crime family? The Bidens are making them look like amateurs. It continues to get bigger and bigger despite national media and local media not covering it. Also, Fox News sending a cease-and-desist letter to Tucker Carlson. That's some funny stuff right there. The Trump polling numbers. This is only helping him. We'll give you the Trump polling numbers. All he does is go up and up and up when haters like Democrat Drew want to piss on his grave. I mean, it's one of those things in life. The more you hate Trump, the more publicity he gets, the angrier you get. Just deal with it, man. It's Trump's world right now, and you're living in it, Drew. I can't wait till he wins the presidency again. I'm kidding. I think it more like Tabitha, where he won't win, and something will happen. But anyway, Drew says you know what, Drew? I think the whole Trump thing's a rabbit hole. Anyway, all good in the hood. Nicole Jenkins says she's already designed an orange jail suit for the Bidens.
I love that, Nicole.
We'll get into that. We've got a Biden theme song. It's called Walk Like a Biden, and it's in reference to the Walk Like an Egyptian, the Bengals 80s hit song. There's a new Trump indicted song from a rapper, which, of course, backs Donald Trump. Tab's take today is on Are the TVs Really Watching Us? And she's also going to go off on truckers and the safety of people on the road these days. We're going to get into it all. Tons of stuff. By the way, what's your 14-year-old doing today?
My 14-year-old was sleeping in when I left.
Okay, well, there's a 14-year-old who just graduated from Santa Clara University, and he's going to work for Elon today. So not too shabby.
Yeah, that really makes my 14-year-old that I think is a 4.0 genius, need to get out of bed.
That's not
She needs
good.
to get out of bed.
Not very good. But first, take a look at all of our advertisers, our partners, our sponsors. We appreciate it when you guys help us out as well. Back in just a couple minutes.
House has the largest selection of solid wood with the hottest new styles. Real furniture that's built to last, like our solid bedrooms, living rooms, and dining from Kincaid. Our volume enables us to save you a lot of money, especially during our solid wood sale. Plus, get free financing, fast free delivery, and free in-home design. So for solid wood, sweet styles, and solid service since 1964, shop over 3 football fields of furniture at Carroll House, because you like nice things.
Hey guys, this is Dr. Mahesh Bhagway. I'm an orthopedic surgeon here in St. Louis for over the last 20 years. I went to Washington University. I got my medical degree at St. Louis University. From local high school athletes, college athletes, weekend warriors, injured workers, and even Cardinal baseball players, I've treated them all. Our practice strives to personalize care with every new patient being seen by me. To find me, contact my staff at drbagwe.com. That's DRBAGWE.com. Hopefully you don't need me, but if you do, you can find me now.
Jonathan, what does make Rockwood so special?
Rockwood, we carbonize it higher than anybody else does. So we're cooking out everything that produces ash, smoke, anything like that. It gives you a lot more control over the temperature, a lot more control over the fire, and it's 100% Missouri product.
All right, where can people get it?
It's at 100 plus locations around St. Louis, any Deerberg, Straub's, meat markets, wine and cheese stores, hardware stores, you name it, we're around St. Louis. Just check the website.
And good charcoal should be able to break apart in your hands like
absolutely,
does,
yeah.
Right?
If you can't break it apart by hand, it's not charcoal yet. It's still wood. They didn't do the job, so make sure it can break apart by hand.
All right, get your Rockwood charcoal.
Marco, wait. What? No response? Hi, I'm Curtis Barks with Complete Auto Body and Repair, offering full service and auto repair to St. Louis and St. Charles. We are looking for someone to say polo. That's right, we are hiring. We want you now. If you would like to work in a well-paying environment, then you owe it to yourself to stop by one of our 6 Complete Auto Body and Repair locations. Will you help me find that missing person? Please call me directly at 636-488-HIRE. That's right, 636-488-4473.
Dad, and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixes cars.
Attention, anyone who served, lived, or worked at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987. Camp Lejeune's drinking water was dangerously toxic, and base personnel and their families have since suffered cancer and other illnesses. If you or a loved one spent time at Camp Lejeune and were diagnosed with cancer, you may be eligible for significant compensation. Call the Driscoll firm now. Consultations are free, and you won't pay a fee unless we get you the money you deserve. 1-800-805-4800.
Hey guys, welcome back into cancelthisshow.com. Rocking and rolling on a June 13th. I'm Vic Faust with Tabitha Hassel. Lizzie Sparks in studio, running our live chat line as always. Getting ready to talk with one of the leading cardiologists in the Midwest, Dr. Gil Vardi, from the St. Louis Heart and Vascular Association. We'll get into that in just a little bit. But first, Tabitha, you've got your tabs take coming up earlier about TVs. Are they really watching us or not? But if you want to say something, you say it, and you ask for that time. And, of course, you were driving home last night from Springfield.
I do want to say
and I know you always – and I say always – you're always complaining about St. Louis and Missouri drivers. And what's going on with the trucking industry?
People, for one, are just not using the correct safety precautions when you're on the highways. You're just not. Now, who drives the speed limit anymore, right? You're driving down the highway. The speed limit, let's say, is 65. Or let's say last night, I had to work in Springfield last night. So I was driving home in the middle of the night. And I left Springfield around 10 p.m. and had to drive back here to St. Louis. And I will tell you what, it is treacherous to be out on the roads. It is absolutely treacherous to be on the roads. Not only, and trust me, I'm the first person to say, I appreciate truck drivers. I really do, because I know our entire economy would shut down if we didn't have these people out on the roads delivering products from one end of the country to the other. Mm-hmm. I get it. I understand cars can be really annoying on the highway, probably too. You know what I mean? But I saw some trucks last night driving completely out of control. I mean, out of control. There were 2 separate times I seriously thought I was going to be killed, and I drive a Jeep, so I get it. I'm not driving 90 miles an hour down the highway, and nor should you be. You shouldn't be. You should not be driving 90 miles an hour down the highway.
But there's a difference between 90 and 70.
Well, okay, the speed limit is 70, and if you're driving 70, 75.
Were you driving 70 in your little Jeep?
I was driving 75.
Okay.
And when you're driving 75 miles an hour down the highway, which is 5 miles over the posted speed limit, you should be safe, but you're not. You're not safe if you drive the speed limit these days. And I am telling you what.
We got a double tab take today.
The majority of truck drivers out on the road do a great job. They really do.
We already know they're overworked, and the trucking industry is struggling to get truck drivers right now. They're paying truck drivers, these companies, more than they've ever paid because they can't get people to do it.
And there's a lot of
you get
people on
overworked.
The road.
Maybe they're overworked. I don't know.
You know what? There's no excuse to be overworked or underpaid and be on the highway and putting other people's lives in danger.
Okay, of the incidents of all,
I will give you one really good example.
Okay.
Is that when I'm driving down the highway, let's say last night.
Move it, Grandma.
Come on. And I'm driving 75, and trust me, I stay in the slow lane unless I'm passing people. And I feel so bad for the people I passed because I have no idea what those people had to deal with. But trucks would come up behind me. There's nobody to my left. I mean, absolutely no one to the left. There's nobody there. And there's nobody behind me. They come flying up behind me and get about 2 inches from my bumper and then get over to the left. I'm like, why wouldn't you just get over? You see, I'm here. There's nobody to the left of me. Why do you have to fly up on my bumper? And clearly it's to teach me a lesson that you can't drive 75 on the highway or you're going to get killed by a trucker who owns the road. This happened to me, Vic, dozens of times last night. Dozens. Not every time. Dozens of times. Yes,
Do you think the truckers were on their CBs saying, there's that little Jeep with that lady in it? We're
and I was driving
right up to her butt.
And I was driving the bigger Jeep last night too.
Tab, are you sure you weren't sensitive and just looking for it? Because you already, and hate's a strong word, but you hate Missouri drivers.
Well, that's not true. That's not true. I hate people. I think that there were more traffic deaths last year than the 2 years prior. And why is that? And a lot of them involved semi-trucks. Why is that? Because there is a lot of dangerous driving going, not just trucks.
Yeah.
Just
I still
people
think
in
there's
general.
more safe drivers, many more safe truck drivers.
Of course there are. And that's what I said. It's like any profession.
Yeah, you did.
There are bad apples in every profession. And that is one of them. At one point, I'm driving down the highway and there's no one behind me, no one to the left of me. I see a truck coming up in the left lane. And the next thing I know, there's a truck like right behind me. I think he was fighting with the other truck and maybe trying to get past them and didn't realize that there was a car on the other side. If I hadn't slammed on my gas to try to speed up, he would have rear-ended me. I mean, it was
one of our viewers
treacherous.
Chimes in and says that her husband's being sent home all the time because they don't have loads. Is that anything with supply right now?
That could be.
Interesting.
That could be.
I know that has nothing to do with your situation, but Stephanie says
doesn't.
so many inexperienced truck drivers out there right now because of the pandemic. So,
there are, and I just had to come in and say that because I'll tell you what, it is dangerous out there.
We'll get you going again.
If you drive the speed limit, and you know what? And I love police officers as much as I love truck drivers, more actually. Where are the police officers when these trucks are driving 100 miles an hour down the highway?
They're not driving 100 miles an hour.
I saw some Vics driving 100 miles an hour.
I've never seen a truck.
I was going 75, and if you haven't seen it, you're probably not out on the highway driving late at night, flying past me.
No, I'm not.
And
You're
Dr.
not.
Vardi, I seriously thought of you on my drive last night.
She was going to be seeing you today
because I knew you were
way.
coming in today.
Her heart's like.
And when we here in a few minutes when we get started, one of the things I'm going to be asking you about,
we'll bring him in right now.
Yeah, is going to be about stress in the heart and sudden scary things that happen. Because I am not kidding you. Last night when that truck almost hit me from behind, my heart did like a bloop bloop bloop, and I seriously,
oh my gosh,
it took me like 5 minutes, and I was before I could like breathe again. I think I seriously thought I was going to die.
Oh my God.
Well, that's Dr. Gil Vardi. Good morning, Dr. Vardi.
Good morning. Good morning.
We're glad that you're in. You're with St. Louis Heart and Vascular, one of the region's top cardiologists. We had you in last week. Very popular segment, by the way. Your segment's doing quite well on YouTube and all of our other platforms. I was like, look at Dr. Vardi go right there talking the medical industry. Today, we've got a situation where you want to talk about heart valves. Now, thank God I don't have any heart issues. Thank God. I don't know the first thing about a heart valve and why they're important or what we should know, but what's important about this for people to know today?
Sure. Actually, before I answer, I want to
Tabitha,
reply to Tabitha's comment about getting scared. There's actually a heart condition that does come from mental stress. Usually a bigger trauma than just a truck on the highway. Something
maybe I'm not going to be all right.
Something that is more significant to your life can cause an immediate and life-threatening weakening of the heart muscle.
Damn.
It drops from full capacity to like 10% of capacity.
Oh, wow.
It has actually a name in Japanese. It's called takatsubo.
Could you say that again?
Takatsubo.
I like
And,
the sound of that.
The reason for
Akasubo.
the name is that the heart gets a shape on the X-ray that reminds an old dish in Japan that was used for a fish dish, and it's a typical plate that they use that the heart looks like that, hence the name. And it's a dangerous condition. People can die. The good news, if they come to the hospital, get supported, there's 100% recovery.
That's amazing.
But some people die on the way to that 100%, and this is 100% related to mental stress.
Really? So would it be something sudden, or are you talking about people who are experiencing a stressful event over a period of time?
It's typically an acute event that really traumatizes you mentally.
Have you personally had to deal with a case like this?
Yes, and luckily it's rare, but over the years we had a number of cases. Unfortunately, some of them we could not save. Some of them had to be on a ventilator and certain devices to support the heart. And then the nice thing, it's 100% recovery. So if you can survive the acute period, it's a full recovery. And many times when you interview the patient, they can identify a major trauma, that mental trauma, some significant event that affected them. So the heart is related to emotions.
Well, I think that happened to me last night, and I thought I was hoping you could fix me today.
Her heart is always related to emotions when she gets behind the wheel of her vehicle.
Apparently so.
It just happens. Talking with Dr. Gil Vardi. Before we move on to your subject, because it is apropos right now, we try to get questions, and people loved your segment last week. Jerry wants to know how we can get off blood thinners because he says he has AFib like Tabitha as well.
Okay, that's a very good point. So people with AFib, let's briefly mention why they need blood thinners. They need blood thinners because when the heart is in AFib, the upper chamber of the heart doesn't contract appropriately. Because it doesn't contract appropriately, there's an area there called the appendage. It's like a little area in the upper chamber that can create blood clots due to lack of movement. And this is why people need the blood thinners. Luckily, so if we talked 10 years ago, the answer was no. There's nothing we can do. Luckily, there's a number of new devices, and I actually just came back from a big cardiology conference in Phoenix last week where a number of those devices were presented. So there are devices that can be inserted to the heart to occlude that area. And once such a device is inserted, there's no need for blood thinners anymore. So there is a way to get off of blood thinners by using what we call an occluder of the left atrial appendage. And there are a number of devices. It's done non-surgically. It's inserted via a catheter. Currently, there are 2 devices on the market in the United States and about 10 more in research.
I absolutely love that.
Doctor, what's going on with these heart valves? Let's get into the subject now and why you thought it was such an important subject to bring up. And by the way, we'll be showing you pictures of heart valves from 3 leading companies as well. And you may recognize the difference between some of the products our viewers may not. Maybe they don't need to know. And for our listeners, just so you understand what we're talking about.
Sure. So we have valves in the heart. We see here on the picture. I'll talk about it in a second. The role of the valve is allow a one-way flow. In the heart, we don't like two-way flow of blood. It's always a one-way flow from one place to another. And to control that flow, we have valves that allow the blood to go only one way. Those valves can have one of 2 problems. Either they leak. Leaking is a bad name. Nothing leaks there like a faucet, but they allow the blood to go back to the wrong way. Or the other problem is they don't open. They get sclerosed and they don't allow the blood to go forward. Historically, the only way to repair it was open heart surgery, which, as you can imagine, is a very big ordeal. You have to open the chest, you have to stop the heart, you have to open the heart, and usually the surgeons would then either sew in a new valve or repair the current valve. In recent years, we have a technology to replace or repair those valves without surgery. And this is why it's so important. So we can go in with a catheter, usually from the groin area, sometimes from the arm, and either replace or repair a valve without opening the chest. As a matter of fact, in many cases, without even general anesthesia, just with mild sedation. So from a huge surgery that would take a week or 2 in the hospital to a smaller procedure that takes an hour, and people usually go home the next day. That's why I wanted to mention it, because the significant improvement and development here is really amazing.
So many new developments and so many different products out there right now where you don't have to use general anesthesia. You don't have to have open heart surgery. To me, it's just amazing because it wasn't maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you had to have heart surgery for these different types of things, correct?
Absolutely. This is very new. The first device to hit that mode is for the aortic valve. And and that's what you showed earlier on the slide. And this is the device that replaces the aortic valve. And unfortunately, it can replace only when the valve doesn't open. It cannot replace a leaky valve yet. And the reason for that is that when the valve doesn't open, there's a lot of calcium there, and the new valve hangs to the calcium. The leaky valve is not calcified, and we still cannot do it, and you need surgery. The good news, new devices in development also for the leaky valve. So you're right, this is fairly new. The aortic valve started probably around 10 to 15 years ago, and new valves are coming daily, almost daily. And now we can replace and repair other valves like the mitral valve, the tricuspid valve, and it's a really work in progress. And again, last week in Phoenix, that's where they presented all the new development, and it's amazing to see what's coming.
It is. I mean, and just think how that will prolong someone's life, and not only their life, but the quality of life.
Absolutely. And reduces the risk of the surgery, because those surgeries do carry the risk of mortality.
Absolutely.
So each time you go to a surgery like that, there is a small chance, but you take the chance of dying during that surgery, which is significantly reduced, especially in the elderly and the frail, where the surgery is really, really risky. They really get a good result with those non-surgical solutions.
Are you seeing ages of all kinds needing surgery or needing procedures like this when it comes to the heart valves?
So heart valve is usually a condition of the elderly. They go bad as we age. But we do see younger people from time to time. But the vast majority with valvular heart disease will be the elderly.
It's so hard in this day and age because, there's people who think because of we call it the cupcake here in regards to the cupcake.
The V word.
The V word.
If we say it, they'll delete
There's
our
certain
show.
algorithms and things like that where people are like, oh no, it's a ticking time bomb. It's going to mess the heart. So you're dealing with that, but you're also dealing with old age at the same point in time because heart conditions can come out of nowhere too, right?
Absolutely. But specifically valvular heart disease is coming with age. It's a degenerative disease. It's like any machine that gets older, as opposed to an active disease like a heart attack that we do see in younger ages. But valve disease can come in a younger age, especially in people who are born with what we call a congenital valvular disease, where the valve from day one, you're born with a valve that is not exactly the way it should have been. And those tend to deteriorate sooner. So instead of at age 80, they may deteriorate at age 50.
My daughter had that surgery at 24, and it went exactly as you're saying. It was scary as a parent, but they went up through, her groin area, and her recovery rate, she was literally fine. Right after the surgery, she was able to talk. It was during COVID, during the C, so it was very frightening. We couldn't be in there with her.
Sure.
But she was able to FaceTime us right after the surgery, and she could talk to us. So the advancements that you're talking about are spot on. We actually lived what you're talking about.
So many people on our chat line now talking about a loved one had to go through open heart surgery. In 05, in 07, just what this technology that you're showing people that is out there now that can help them. They're grateful for it. Our time goes by so fast with you too. I was trying to get some of the questions a little off what you were speaking about, unless you're full. Did you feel like you've covered everything with the heart valve? I just wanted to make sure.
The take-home message is, if you have valvular heart disease and you are offered surgery, don't agree immediately. Explore your options. It's very possible that surgery is indeed your solution, but maybe you have another solution. So it's good to explore.
Great advice,
Yes,
Dr.
it
Gil
is.
Vardi,
Great
right
advice.
there. We had a question. Hey, can you use vitamin E as a blood thinner? And then the gentleman says restrict vitamin K foods.
So there's a lot of myths here. The vitamin E does have some thinning effect. That's true. But I would not use it as a reliable blood thinner. So if the doctor told you need a blood thinner, you better use an approved blood thinner, approved prescription blood thinner, rather than just resort to the vitamin E. But the truth is, it does have some thinning properties, but I wouldn't use it as a reliable blood thinner.
Especially because people, I take warfarin, so that means you go into a clinic every week and have your blood checked, and there's a lot of ups and downs and adjustments to make sure
And you have to go
you're
you go to a clinic every week?
every single week to have a blood test to make sure my levels are where they should be. So I could see something like vitamin E, while it might offer some good properties, it's such a fine tuning you have to do.
Is
That's
aspirin
true.
still a good blood thinner?
Well, it depends for what purpose. For example, for atrial fibrillation, if you need full thinning, then aspirin is not sufficient. Aspirin is what we call antiplatelet drug, without getting too technical, as opposed to the Coumadin, which is anticoagulant. So they work in different systems of the coagulation system. So aspirin has its place, especially for coronary artery disease, peripheral arterial disease, or if you have a stent, whereas the Coumadin and other medications will qualify more for atrial fibrillation and other conditions that require thinning. To answer your issue with the vitamin K, so the way Coumadin works or warfarin works, it's an anti-vitamin K medication. So if you consume different levels of foods who are rich and poor in vitamin K, that will change the level of thinning.
Yes.
So for example, if you'll consume a lot of bananas certain week, you'll need more Coumadin. And then if you consume less, you will need less. So usually what I tell my patient, I don't tell them avoid those foods. I like to tell them stay consistent. So if you like a
Exactly.
salad, then have a salad daily. But you have a week full of salads and then a week without salad, it's going to create a lot of issues with controlling the level of the thinning that comes from the warfarin.
And I don't think a lot of people
Maybe wine-
understand that. Yeah, because I have to eat the same thing every single week.
Does wine work, Doc? You like wine?
I love wine, but kind of irrelevant to that issue.
Yeah. That's Dr. Gil. Hey, by the way, who do cardiologists go to have their hearts looked at? Do you guys go to your friends or?
We always go to our friends.
Boy,
Always
oh
go to
boy.
our friend, yeah.
I wonder if that's pressure for a cardiologist. Take a look
Yes.
at another cardiologist as well. Dr. Gil Vardi with the St. Louis Heart and Vascular Cardiology. We appreciate your time, my friend, and we'll find some time to get you back on here as well. And thanks again for explaining this new heart technology when it comes to these heart valves. That's some really cool stuff.
Thank you.
All right.
It's always a pleasure to be here.
All righty. We'll talk to you later, Doc. We
Okay.
appreciate it.
Have a
Dr.
great
Gil
day.
Vardi.
Good to talk to you.
Very, very,
Good to talk
very
to you.
popular segment. And of course, we learn things. We learn things pretty damn quick.
It is so popular because I think all of us are worried about heart health. And, as people age, you have more heart conditions, things are popping up. It is such a popular subject.
This is cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Tabitha Hassel. Eric Johnson's here. Lizzie Sparks in studio running the chat line, making sure everything is going as well as it can. Michelle, yes, great information. No doubt about that. Terry also said that her sons both went into AFib after getting the cupcake. That was about a week after they got it. They're fine now. They said they were wondering if there should be doing anything.
I've heard that.
I'll ask Doc
That's happened
off
to
air.
other people. Yeah, we'll have to find
because
out.
he already took off from that standpoint. But love getting Dr. Gil Vardi in here. Hopefully we can get him an advertiser and have him on a weekly basis. That would be great. Lots of information in a quick amount of time. All right. Speaking of interviews, coming up at 9:30 today, we're going to talk to the president of the Young Republicans of Missouri.
Is there such a thing?
What is that, Eric?
Young Republican?
Yes.
There are.
Come on, man.
Eric with a great comment. We'll get into that as well coming up a little bit later. Big story that's hitting the headlines all over the place, but is it a big story? What the hell's going on? I get Tabitha when it comes to this point. And it is now all the news that came out yesterday because of Senator Grassley saying that, yes, he saw the document. All these senators and representatives saying they've seen the document. I'm talking about the FBI document. Now, Grassley is saying that a Buresma official, the executive who was tied to Hunter and Joe and $5 million payouts to each of them, recorded the conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, of course they did. If you were Buresma and you were paying millions of dollars to the Biden family,
yes,
wouldn't you record the conversation?
For help. And this was for help for Vice President Joe Biden using his power from his office to go after a Ukrainian prosecutor to not go after Buresma because they were being investigated. This is pretty simple stuff.
It is. And kind of with the topic, but a little off the topic, is that the day that Russia invaded Ukraine, the very first thing I did on that day is I looked at the Buresma website. And do you know it was down?
Why did you look at the website?
Because the first thing I thought is when Russia goes into Ukraine, if it were me and I were Putin, the very first thing I would do is I would go to Buresma and I would take their files and I would take their hard drives and I would have all of that information against the United States. And sure enough, that day their website was down. It went down.
This is a massive scandal, and just because national media is refusing to cover it doesn't mean it isn't happening.
Oh no.
The document is real. The document is going on. There's a reason why these Trump allegations, indictments are there.
Yes.
Look somewhere else. There's another reason too, and you just brought it up, Aaron. Yeah, and we're talking about the Buresma situation, but I saw the articles that China was creating COVID-19 as a potential bioweapon.
Of course they were.
It's being reported in mainstream newspapers in Europe. Mainstream, not right, not left, right down the middle, reporting that the evidence is there now. But you're not
Of
seeing
course it is.
the communist media of the United States. And people don't want to believe that our media is communist because they want to think that this is still the Americas of the 80s, and it's just not.
Don't keep going, guys. I'm having fun. Seriously.
You must be tired
you're
today.
up, Eric, you're up.
Well, first of all, it's real simple. Sometimes you don't even have to overthink things.
Bingo.
2014, 15, 16, whatever it was. Joe Biden gets an offer. He gets a phone call or a knock at the door. Hey, what's up? Yeah, your son's over here in Ukraine. He wants to be a something with Buresma. We're an energy company. You don't have to worry about that right now. But just a quick question. What do you think about getting $5 million? I don't care how you get it. Put it in an LLC. Put it in a bank account somewhere. There's a lot of good Swiss stuff that you can find. If we get a little bit of influence, we understand you're kind of a big deal over there, and your son likes to party over here in Ukraine with us. He's a good guy. What do you think? We just give you some cash to kind of go pull some levers for us. Nothing major, just an energy bill here and there. Maybe push something through with Nancy Pelosi. And I don't know. What do you think? All of a sudden, it's got Jim, the brother, and Hunter come back and go, yeah, we're setting up this company. And we thought that it'd be a good idea that I was on the board of your board of directors. I don't know crap about energy, but I do have an in with the president or the vice president at the time. Let's make that happen. And then there's some cat in there that says, whatever you do, we can't get a receipt for this. Can't get a receipt for this transaction. Just somebody go fire up a recorder somewhere. In the back of the room, I don't care. I just need to have a little bit of protection on this one. Anyway, give him the money. All right. Fast forward a few years. All of a sudden, the United States starts to blow up. Ukraine is going down the tubes because Russia's putting drones and putting all of their weaponry at them. Joe Biden doesn't seem to be holding up his end of the deal very well. FBI is all over the place going, hey, this could be a conflict of interest. What are those documents called that the IRS had, the surveillance ones, the suspicious?
You mean, are you talking about, you said the IRS?
Well, yeah, I think it was the IRS. They had these suspicious transaction documents of some sort. So they knew what was going on. They felt the money coming and going in weird places. So they had all these reports kind of like laid out there. Why is it so hard to believe that Biden, a guy that doesn't have an entrepreneurial bone in his body, has millions and millions and millions of dollars? His kid can pay $20,000 a month.
$30,000 a month.
Oh, I'm sorry.
$30,000 a month.
$30,000 a month in Malibu, California.
And he's not exactly the sharpest tool in the shed.
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. Jimmy Carter's sons didn't have that kind of cash.
No,
or brothers didn't have that kind of cash.
But unfortunately, Democrats don't want to acknowledge this. They don't.
It doesn't matter.
It
It
doesn't
doesn't matter.
To be mean.
It's a tsunami that's
You've
about to hit.
got to freaking be honest about it. Just acknowledge it.
Yeah.
No, we
come
want to
on.
go after mean Donald Trump.
No. Hey, look, to
Just
be honest,
be real, man. Let's cover it all.
to be honest with you,
Break it all down.
Donald slit his own throat.
What? You have lost your mind.
If Donald
slit his own throat because these are documents. The government said, just give them back, dog. He should have just given them back instead of having a tape of his own.
We were talking to Brad
tape
Young
of his
about
own.
that, trying to figure that
Yeah,
out.
but Eric-
That's for sure.
Eric,
So no, we got to be fair.
that's not necessarily. I mean, I see.
It's
of
two
course, I see
totally
where you're-
different silos. I get it.
I know, but two totally different topics in fact. But with Trump's a very intelligent person. He's a very intelligent guy. I can assure you, if he held on to those documents, he did so thinking that it was legal, believing that what he was doing.
Okay, but you don't
he
tell
had
your
the right
lawyer to go
do.
hide the
Yeah.
documents in the basement.
He has the right to attorney-client privilege,
Maybe
just like
we'll find
anyone
out.
else.
But if
like anyone
but
else.
if I was smart and I was Donald Trump, and I would say the entire weight of the DOJ, FBI, CIA is on top of my head, I'm not going to keep documents that they're saying, hey, can you just give them back? I'd be like, not just yes, but hell yes.
But this whole Trump situation is being brought out to hide, in my opinion,
definitely
what the hell's going on with the Bidens.
No
Definitely. 100 freaking percent.
Yeah.
Now, this doc that several representatives have allegedly seen that none of us can see is confusing to me. If everybody's seen it, why hasn't anything been done? Is there an investigation going on? I don't know. Representative Comer of the House Oversight Committee has made reference to an investigation going on with the Biden crime syndicate. But one guy who I do trust, at least right now, and call me crazy if you think that I'm silly and whatever else and I'm going down the wrong path, is Representative Byron Donalds out of Florida. I really like this guy.
Yeah.
And I think he tells it how it is. I don't think Washington has gotten to him yet.
He does tell it how it is.
Here's what he had to say about this Biden crime situation. Just take a listen to his sound right now.
Because having read that FBI document, it is damning. As much as people want to say, oh, this indictment might be serious, let me tell you, this FBI report is a damning report. First of all, they had us go to a secure facility where we read classified information to read an unclassified document. If there was nothing to see here, why would FBI go to such lengths? Then you actually read the document. And when you read the document, one thing that becomes crystal clear is that the people at Buresma knowingly paid $5 million to Hunter, $5 million to Joe Biden, so that Joe Biden would use the power of his office as vice president to pressure Ukraine to fire the prosecutor who was looking into Buresma.
Okay. There's a lot going on right now.
Yeah, first of all, who knew Eric Bolling was on the air again?
Yeah, Eric Bolling, former Fox News guy on... What was that? Newsmax. Yeah, actually doing pretty well there now since Fox ratings are tumbling in the evening times. Anyway, Byron Donalds breaking it down for you. Am I alone too, or were you saying that too, Tabitha? It's like, why isn't anything more happening right now?
Well, nothing is going to happen,
and we can't see a document.
Come on, man.
Where are these
happen.
recorded conversations that Grassley said that he has heard or is out there?
What I would like to know, and I'm so glad that Grassley is speaking up, and he's been a good patriot for us in most cases. And we have to have more people in Congress speaking out. We have to draw more attention to it. The media is not going to cover it.
Why is Grassley the only
cover
senator
speaking out?
Why is Grassley the only senator? Where the hell?
Where's McCarthy?
There was a chorus of these morons on the left in the Senate and the House when they were trying to impeach Trump. I mean, every senator on the planet had something to say about Trump getting impeached. But my God, the 220-year-old Grassley comes out and he's the only guy going after this stuff. This is a big deal.
Eric,
this is a huge deal.
It's a big deal, but I can tell you why this is happening. Because you know what? Think of the United States again as a third world country. Think of us as a different country, not the United States.
Okay.
What we have in place here is we have a regime called the Democrat regime.
Okay.
And the Democrat regime controls the media. They control the DOJ.
That's right.
They control the IRS.
No
they
doubt.
control the FBI. They control every agency in this entire country. And we, the People's Party, and Trump, who is the opposition leader, they're going to come at him with everything they have. And anything Biden does, because he is the leader of the Democrat regime, who is currently the regime running this country and has since JFK.
By name only, he's the leader.
Let me tell you something.
By name
This
only.
little
They will never do
cabal that you
anything
just talked
against
about,
him.
this little cabal that you just talked about, I don't think they give a damn about Biden. I don't think.
Of course they don't care about Biden.
You're right.
I think they're going to give this cat up. This guy, they had Gavin Newsom on with Hannity last night.
Saw it.
Why in the hell is Gavin Newsom doing an interview with Sean Hannity.
You know why?
I do know why.
You've said it before.
It's because he is literally in the bullpen. He's on deck.
He's warming up that arm.
He has inside info about what's going to happen. They know how this drip for all this phone call stuff is going to come out. And they know, I'll bet you any amount of money. What do you want to bet? FBI, DOJ, CIA. I guarantee they know the timeline of how this is going to go down.
They already know.
I'll bet they do.
Happen.
And not only, and Fox is hemorrhaging right now when it comes to the ratings that they had. And then, of course, people can say what they want about Sean Hannity and going soft. But not only did they have, and you know what? You want Republicans. You want Democrats. You want everybody you can get on air. And obviously, Gavin Newsom is a massive personality right now. He
will be a president at some point.
Despite leading one of the worst states in this country in every single issue, there he was on Hannity, since you bring it up, and it gets into this whole Biden situation, admitting that California needs to do a better job. We haven't done well enough with homelessness. And like trying to take that middle line, all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God. Just like Eric says, here he comes. Gavin has ideas. Yeah. He wants to be president.
He will be president someday. He is already
I think he knows he's
being groomed.
I think he knows this is going to be DeSantis v. Newsom in this next election.
Whoa, you're erasing.
I have a feeling. Look, we are 18 months away from pulling levers. I have a feeling that he knows the powers to be know it's going to be Newsom versus DeSantis.
That wouldn't surprise me at all because DeSantis will be. And here's the problem is that if DeSantis is going to win, then he's going to have to sell out to the Democrat regime. Yeah. There is no way he can win unless he sells us out. It's not possible.
By the way, Newsom, I looked this up. Newsom is not Pelosi's nephew. I did look that up. I did not.
No.
To her niece.
Here's where that got confused is because Pelosi, people have believed that Pelosi's been pushing him to make her daughter, this new senator when Feinstein goes down.
Well, he was married to someone that was related to Pelosi, I believe, but it was not by blood.
And I do believe that Biden, because the guy is a complete idiot. He doesn't know where he is. I don't know whether to be angry at him or feel sorry for him. He will get thrown under the bus at some point.
I do not feel sorry for him.
I don't feel sorry.
I don't feel sorry for that clown because he knew in the back of his mind that he was selling things out.
He doesn't know where he is. Come on,
he has no idea what's going on.
He comes in and out of consciousness all the time, and to have some fun with it. Did you see this new video?
Oh my God! No.
There's a funny video.
There are so many.
Well,
there are so
this
many.
One's an actual song video.
Oh boy.
One of our favorite songs from the 80s, Eric, Walk Like an Egyptian. You remember that from the Bengals?
How could I forget?
Yeah, well, check out Walk Like Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
Biden.
Can we play it, Joe? Okay.
Joe's like, not just no, but hell no.
Here we go.
Get some.
Well,
and that doesn't sound like the.
The American president is doomed. A little old man can barely move. If he moves too quick, he'll topple just like a domino. He's got that sinister smile and thinks he just might win the bet, but he's just hanging on, dangling like Hunter's cigarette. Hunter types with the hookah pipe say, walk like a Joe Biden. And when he boards Air Force One, he spins around and he hits the floor. He's got the He hits the deck, then he hits some more. All the Dems are so sick of Joe, they really would like to see him end. He his pants when he went to the Vatican. All the kids in the DNC say,
That was pretty good.
How embarrassing, isn't
Put your feet up the street, hump your back, stiffen your arms, don't pull them back. Life's hard, you know. When motoring in the Cadillac. If you wanna know where it stops, it ends in dementia, and the cops they're singing dance when finding the confidential docs. Then they arrest all his men while Putin laughs in the Kremlin, and the Chinese know he's owned by them and Ukrainians. All the cops in the DOJ say.
What a great
That
song.
is.
I almost feel sorry for China. They're like, how can we deal with these nutty ass countries?
Eric, what we need to be asking is why are we have Republicans in Congress, don't we? We have McCarthy, who actually sits in meetings with Joe Biden.
Yes.
We have all of these people who meet with Joe Biden and who talk to Joe Biden. Why aren't any of them standing up and saying he needs a cognitive ability test? We need to see his health report.
Know. Yeah, they know.
But
Because
why? I know
Republicans
they know, but why
have,
don't they do something about it?
Republicans have decorum. They have.
That's not decorum.
It is because that's what they were.
Out.
That's what
they're
hold
sellouts.
on.
Every last one of them.
That's what they were doing for Trump. And I think
that is not what they were doing. Trump is
Trump was. They were all
every
10 minutes. There was like, this guy needs to take a cognitive skills test. Remember that? And Mark Siegel, I think Dr. Mark Siegel gave it to him. Isn't that correct?
And said he was perfect.
And said he was perfect.
Yeah,
so he actually took the test.
Last week,
Trump was cognitively able.
Yes, but the Democrats around every turn was like, this guy's nuts.
Oh, okay. I thought you were trying to say, I misunderstood. I thought you were trying to say that they were covering for
if
Trump.
There's one person that would still vote for this guy, Joe Biden,
yes,
you need to look in the mirror, really look in the mirror and ask yourself what you're about. Really? Joe Biden, that's just a little snippet of all of the craziness that is surrounding this man. Or somebody else is running the show and you don't care. And you don't care to know because you know that man can't, and you can't come on this show or any show and say 100% in truth in your heart, knowing that Joe Biden is doing a good job or can do a good job or has the cognitive ability to walk, talk, and not much less just wash himself and dress himself every day, but to lead a country in the world. Give me a break.
Here's one thing.
But people don't speak out about it.
I'll give Drew Collins.
Democrats know this too. If you voted for him, it was a mistake. And if you did it again, shame
Drew,
on you.
I don't
vote for
I
a
don't,
different Democrat.
I don't know
that.
I don't know Drew Collins, but if we were hanging out having a beer and I said, Drew, you got 380 million people in this country. Give me your top choice for president. I'm going to give you a 100% answer. He would not say Joe Biden.
Well,
and he is our liberal.
He would say Obama.
He is our resident liberal.
Well, he's got to lie.
Huh?
You got to lie.
No, he lies every day about how cool Joe Biden is on this show. Every day on this show.
They do lie. And if you ask someone, hey, do you still like Joe Biden? They'll be like, oh, yes, I do.
Yes,
and I'll be like,
yes.
why? They'll go, but Trump.
Yeah.
But Trump.
Yeah.
That's all they can do.
Yeah. It's because Joe is Joe is a frail. He's like the little guy that comes down the hall at 8:00 in the evening to get his pudding at Del Mar Gardens. You don't want him to fall and hit his head on the wall. You don't want him to, you need to, he's like, somebody get him a wheelchair, please.
Well,
it's like
no question.
You don't have a disdain for the guy. You feel sorry for the guy, but then you start to do the backstory stuff behind him putting transgenderism into our military, behind him knocking out the XL pipeline, behind him taking $5 million to conceal whatever he did in Buresma. Well, that's when the problem with me and Joe Biden come in.
We talk about this literally almost every day about how stupid Joe Biden is and how frail he is. And
well, then don't talk about it anymore.
Elder abuse. But what I would like to talk about is why
and that's why we're talking about
all of the Republicans. Yeah, that's exactly why you brought it up, Vic. Why aren't more people speaking out than Grassley? Why isn't
That's a good question.
We have known this deal with Buresma was going on for how many years now? For a long time, yet no one talks about it. You don't hear it on the news. You don't even really hear it on Fox.
Here's the issue with it, Tabitha. I do think more and more Republicans are speaking up about things. The problem is, it's just like if a tree falls in the woods and nobody sees it, did it fall?
That's right.
The problem is national media, local media, the television stations don't cover it. You have to come to our platforms, and that's not just some shameless plug. That is the legitimate truth. You have got to go look for the truth, just like Tabitha said she's been doing for years. National media is not covering it, Eric. I mean, You've got
No.
Representative Donalds. He's on Newsmax talking. Grassley's talking. Even Kevin McCarthy, he completely undressed a CNN reporter yesterday. And you have to do some deep dives to find it because they're not going to cover it on the platforms that we have been used to watching and intaking. That's part of the problem. Plus, Tabitha says, you got to get more Republicans coming out saying
many more.
Or are they in the mix too, where they don't want Donald Trump coming in? Because we just saw it yesterday,
I think that's it too.
where Mitch McConnell, John Cornyn, John Thune all came out and said we're disassociating ourselves now as the GOP Senate from Donald Trump. But in the mix of all of this crap that's going on, guess what's happening? Donald Trump is surging. His ratings after the first indictment, his ratings went boom. Guess what his ratings are doing now? They're going straight up again with the American people. Now,
it's like they keep putting holes in his raft, but it floats still.
Yeah, 30 up to 38% in conservative polling right now. Let me repeat that for you. Donald Trump's ratings up to 38% over Ron DeSantis in the recent conservative polling. That should tell you something. This leadership may be trying to disassociate itself from Donald Trump, but the American people are not in large numbers.
Why? You know why?
And you know what that shows? That shows something's coming. Something's brewing.
Here's one thing.
And if things go down in a way that people don't feel comfortable about, we're going to have some issues in this.
They know. And I think here's the thing is, so let's say that the guy that has the tape of Biden saying, yeah, I'll take your $5 million. Or it's like something that the kids put on TikTok, like Biden, taking millions from Buresma has sold out the country. I think that's when you would start to see the heavy understate, the deep state start to push against to get this guy out. I do. I think they know their time would be. That's the only thing right now that you're missing in all of this drama, because Drew Collins, as I look down, goes, where's the proof? Well, that's the sentiment of every liberal Chesterfield soccer mom right now. Where's the proof?
But it's interesting, too. Rich just brings up a good point. He's, at least in his mind, he says Trump is a sinking ship that's going to bring the party down. Another January 6th.
Well, that's a good point. He's a huge anchor. And if that anchor ever goes down, he's bye-bye.
Well, he's already splintered the party. He has. There's no doubt. I mean, we can't even debate it. It's a fact. He has splintered the party. But many feel that's a good thing, because we need a rebirth of the conservative movement, of the GOP, with leaders that care, with leaders that aren't going to do what they've always done. Damn, I sound like Tabitha Hassel right now. Anyway, that's what is happening. And guess what? We also see a lot of support for Donald Trump coming from African Americans, from Latinos, and people, everyday, average people like ourselves. That's why, the next year and a half is going to be very interesting to see what happens.
Here's the thing.
Because this whole indictment,
it seems easier.
Wouldn't even be heard until after the election.
It seems easier to me. Instead of destroying the country by ripping down Biden and ripping down Trump and saying, I hate you and I hate you and I hate you. Here's what I think the fix is. And I think Tabitha's even talked about this. No more parties. Why are we going to...
Damn, we need parties.
Why?
Are you talking about
you mean like dance parties or Republican Democrat parties?
He's talking about that, political parties.
No
well, we
more.
do need a choice.
Listen.
We need to wipe the slate clean and start all over again. Now you know how I feel, don't you?
No more caucusing. No more parties. No more sludge fund money coming into people. You have a badass dude that's coming out of Iowa that says, I can lead. Like, what's that guy? I can't even think. He's running for president. I can't ever say his name.
For the Republicans?
Yeah, for the Republicans. He's Indian. I can't Vivek. This cat, if you put him in the White House, would fix 90% of your problems overnight. He's a businessman. He's smart as hell. He's diverse. There's your diversity. He's Indian. He's not even a white guy.
And he has 1% of the vote.
Yeah, he's got 1% of the vote.
Isn't he Muslim?
I think if this cat just came out and said, I'm not a Republican.
Ramsey,
I'm not a Democrat. Right? I'm not a whatever. I'm a guy that wants to get in the White House and I want to run this thing. The worst thing that has, and I think that the Democratic Party and the Republican Party have served themselves well up to this point. But this country is too polarized right now. You cannot have it so you're on one team or the other.
Yeah,
you have to vote for people now.
But here's another song. And Joe, if you can load up the rap song, guess what? Every time there's a song about Trump and it goes number one. It goes number one on iTunes.
Because it
goes number one everywhere. Just listen to it. Here, another one. This is about his indictment.
It's because he's a pop star.
He is a pop star.
That's why.
Free Donald Trump! 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 Let me hear you chant. Free Donald Trump! Lock Joe Biden up. Free Donald Trump! Hey, let me hear you chant. Free Donald Trump! Lock Joe Biden up. Free Donald Trump! Yeah, let me hear you chant. Indicted we stand, indicted we fall. Indicted we stand, indicted we fall. Indicted we stand, indicted we fall. If Trump get locked up, it's a wrap for us all.
Yeah, interesting stuff. He's representing a lot of American people crossing races. Here we go.
It's so funny. There's a video called I can't remember what it's called, but it's this. Basically, they go down into the hood in St. Louis, North St. Louis, in the most gang-filled part of St. Louis, and all of these kids are walking around with guns. And the guy walks in and goes, "Hey, I just want to interview you guys. I just want to learn." They all gather around him. They're all talking to him. They go, "So, are you guys like? Would you vote for Biden?" And they're like, "Hell no!"
They know,
and they all have Trump stickers. And they got. I mean, I'm like, mind blown.
Yesterday, Ty Dennis was on the show, who works with the inner city youth, bringing them in contact with police. He grew up in some of the worst neighborhoods you could imagine, was a drug detective in Atlanta. As he said yesterday, real recognizes real, Eric.
Well, you do figure that these kids, they understand the legal system and they understand that Trump's kind of going through it like a boss. I mean, I'm telling you guys, listen, he is a pop star. This is a urban legend he has become. He is bigger than the news cycle. That's why you cannot put a glove on the guy. DeSantis has a resume, a CV that is successful. Gavin Newsom has a CV, a resume that is a failure.
Does anybody really recognize?
But no one cares.
And put themselves with Joe Biden.
But the soccer moms are not going to vote for him.
Why are we even talking about this? Seriously.
Because this is the cycle we're in.
None of it matters. None of it matters.
Wait.
No Republican, I don't care who the Republican is, unless they're a sellout, they are not going to win.
I agree.
I
agree with you, Tab.
So
we're spinning our wheels talking about it every freaking day.
I agree with Tab.
Nobody's going to win.
Newsom and DeSantis.
So we don't talk politics then, or what do we do, Tab?
We have
are
to
in this
come up
every day.
with strategies. We can sit here and talk all day long.
That's tactical. That's your job. That's not our job.
Trump and DeSantis.
But
and
then what
Vivek
strategy?
And Vivek, by the way, is Hindu. He made a big statement that said he's not Christian.
Tabitha,
we don't need another non-Christian in the White House because they sell our country out. I'm sorry, they just do. Obama showed us that.
I don't have a problem with the Hindu religion, but I do think that we do need a Christian as our president.
I do,
Tabitha. What do we do strategy-wise?
We have to start coming up with solutions.
How
do we beat them?
But the games, you've already said.
How do we beat them?
You told me, you've said on the show, the game's already over. A Republican will not be in office in 2024.
It's not going to happen.
Okay.
Wow,
all right.
Tabitha.
Now we've set that standard. So now that we know that the game is already over in your mind, then why even talk strategies? Talk about spinning a useless wheel.
No, that is not a useless wheel. If we don't start strategizing about how we're going to take this back, the Democrat regime is very powerful. It is so much more powerful than what we give them credit for.
Eric's been saying that for years.
Because they have Biden as their stupid spokesperson. They have gained on us. Don't be fooled just because they have this idiot up there as their president. The Democrat regime is extremely powerful. They have infiltrated every single level of bureaucracy in this entire country. It's going to take literally an army to beat them because you know what? They made one mistake, and that mistake was not cheating enough. And Trump got his foot in the door.
Yes.
We got a taste of what it was like to actually live in America once again, right?
Correct.
We know what it was like. I went to the grocery store the other day. You know what I saw? I saw steaks. $20 a pound.
I couldn't believe it.
$20 a pound right now. $18, $19, $20 a pound. Look at eggs, $6 a dozen in some places. Look at what we're suffering. Gas prices. how can anyone say we can't fight back? We have to fight back.
I
we
agree.
have to find ways to fight back. We all know what the problems are.
So you want
What do
to
we do
sit in
about
the
it?
show and talk tactics?
Eric,
okay,
you
well,
are
it
the
has-
master of tactics. What do we do?
No, I'm not, because I don't understand exactly how the Democrats did it. I would have to go read a book or two. But apparently they just put drop boxes all over the place with Zuckerbucks, and then they went to Delmar Gardens and said, "I'll give you some pureed pudding if you sign this ballot right here." And they ballot harvested everything and went to their moms and uncles and everybody.
As Eric has said before,
I guess that's how they did it.
And Democrat Drew responds, the Republicans play checkers, the Democrats are playing chess.
And it's true.
And the first time I heard that
he's right.
was
That is true.
Eric saying that. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. This is canceltheshow.com. Don't go anywhere. Coming up in about 28 minutes, what is actually moving the needle for younger Republicans, younger conservatives, or younger liberals for that matter? We talk with the Missouri president of the Young Republicans, Frank Catanzaro. I can't wait to hear what he has to say. What is mattering to kids, what they care about. Is there a generation of conservatives that's on the move? Because Eric said, where are they? Do they exist? Do they really know what's going on? Frank will give us an update about that. We've got to get an update on Fox News and Tucker Carlson, because that is about ready to heat up big time with what Fox News did yesterday. 14-year-old boy going to work with Elon Musk in the next week or so. Must be nice. Yeah, what'd your 14-year-old do today? Lizzie's is still sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think mine's...
True. My 32-year-old is still sleeping.
Mine might be slobbering all over himself. We'll tell you about a 14-year-old just graduated college. Yeah, and Elon said, yeah, come work with me.
Wow.
Must be nice.
Wow.
Wheel of Fortune. Will it go away? Pat Sajak retiring. How about that 40-year run in game shows? Eric, you should have been a game show host.
Oh my God.
You would have been good. You and Steve Harvey together taking that over.
I like Steve Harvey.
No,
Yeah, Steve Harvey could
David
be
Lee
Vanna.
Roth. David Lee Roth can take over the reins. He would be fantastic.
Kit, that's Eric Johnson, Tabitha Hassel, Lizzie Sparks taking care of the chat line. Pro Joe. On the boards, I'm Vic Faust. Back with more canceltheshow.com after this. Please like, subscribe, share the show, send it to people. Tabitha's going to come up with a strategy in the next 2 minutes as well. We got another hour.
I thought about it all night long on my drive.
All right. Plus, we've got Tabitha's Tab Take. We're going to do that first when we come back. Is it a situation where TVs are literally spying on us, watching us? Our TVs, not our phones, our TVs. Are they watching and listening to you? You will not want to miss this. Back with Tabitha in just 2 minutes.
Waited, and now it's here. The unveiling of the latest Carroll House lifestyle collections. I'm Brooke with my sister Amy, inviting you to see 3 football fields of the latest styles.
Our new lifestyle collections are premium quality furniture made exclusively for us and available only at Carroll House.
The attention to detail is unmatched, and so is the value, nearly half the price of a typical gallery store.
Plus, get free financing, delivery, and in-home design. Carroll House, because you like nice things.
Marco, wait. What? No response? Hi, I'm Curtis Sparks with Complete Auto Body and Repair, offering full service and auto repair to St. Louis and St. Charles. We are looking for someone to say polo. That's right, we are hiring. We want you now. If you would like to work in a well-paying environment, then you owe it to yourself to stop by one of our 6 Complete Auto Body and Repair locations. Will you help me find that missing person? Please call me directly at 636-488-HIRE. That's right, 636-488-4473.
Dad and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixes cars.
Kathy O. Big Strick, owner of Experience Real Estate Partners with eXp, has been one of St. Louis, Missouri's highest selling groups for 26 years running. In that time, Kathy and her team have successfully assisted an incredible 4,000 families. So if you're thinking about buying, building, or selling, be sure to put Kathy's group and their experience to work for you, and you can expect to be moved. Just give her a call at 314-276-SOLD. That's 314-276-7653, or find her online at experience-re.com.
As all of you may know, the home of the Cancel This studio is located at the all-inclusive private jet hangar, Strategic Air Services. Founded in Chesterfield, Missouri, they take pride in offering a meticulous approach to private aviation through services that fully manage your trip from takeoff to landing. Strategic Air Services is more than just storage for your aircraft. They offer state-of-the-art amenities to its members and guests. When you are not traveling, you have the luxury of enjoying their world-class gym, conference rooms, lounges, and so much more. Strategic Air Services offers an unparalleled luxury experience for all things private aviation. If you're looking for a new place to call home for your aircraft, give them a call today at 636-400-7601. Again, that's 636-400-7601, or visit their website at strategicairservices.net.
Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, if you don't know, is a family-owned business that has been around since 1994, serving some of the best chicken wings in town, no joke. Also known for their fresh burgers, pizza, and incredible smoked meat. Top-notch happy hour specials are included, plus live music every Friday and Saturday. Oh yeah, you can also enjoy their spacious heated covered patio. It's Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, 18,000 Chesterfield Airport Road. Hey guys, welcome back in to cancelthisshow.com. Before we get into everything, I just want to remind everybody, all of our listeners, we appreciate Complete Auto Body Repair. Complete Auto Body Repair, Curtis Sparks and crew. Let them know when you give them a call that you heard about from Cancel This. Bendy says, let me tell you how great they are. They encouraged me to pursue a warranty on a catalytic converter. It would have been a $2,500 job for them, but they truly cared about me. Bendy, thank you for sharing that. That's why we've had so many pleased customers, and we appreciate them being our main sponsor of this show, Complete Auto Body and Repair. And, of course, we're grateful to all of our other customers as well, and to our partners, you name it. We're always looking for help. If you know somebody, donations as well, you go to canceltheshow.com and click on the donate button as well. Okay, I'm Vic Foss with Tab of the Hassle, Eric Johnson. Lizzie Sparks is here running the chat line, and Pro Joe, our engineer extraordinaire, taking care of business. All right, by the way, before we get into it, a housekeeping note. Tomorrow is National Flag Day. We wanted to let everybody know about that, National Flag Day. We have the flag here. Tabitha has it. We appreciate that. A couple other headlines, too. We'll try to get in before the end of the show, but if we don't, we wanted to let you know about it. The Texas Rangers, by the way, the only Major League Baseball team that is not celebrating Pride Night. One team in Major League Baseball. Texas said, nope, no thanks. We're not going to do it. And by the way, after a few days, Major League Baseball took down their Pride flag as well on their website. Very interesting is that. I said Pat Sajak, he retired after 40 years for Wheel of Fortune. He announced his retirement. Forgive me for not knowing. Is Vanna White still around? Yes. She is? I was like,
yes,
okay.
She is.
What a dynamic duo those two have been over the years as well. Okay, still to come at 9:30, Frank Catanzaro, the Young Republicans president. We're going to speak to him about what's moving the needle for kids. But first, we got to get into this situation. Tabs all over this subject. So, you know what? It's time for our Tabs take.
Tabs take.
What I wanted to talk about today during my Tabs take is, guess what? If you have a smart TV, your TV is watching and listening to you. I mean, this is something we've been thinking about for a while, right? And, you know, while you guys were out of the room, I was looking at the TVs here, and guess what they are? They're Samsung TVs.
What does that mean?
Samsung TVs are almost all Samsung TVs, newer smart TVs, have cameras and they have microphones. And so think about this. While you're watching television, is your television watching you?
Yes, it is.
Is your television watching you?
It is.
And so I was thinking about this the other day, and I was thinking, okay, I have an LG TV.
Right.
Does my LG TV have a camera?
Yes.
Is the camera watching me?
Yes.
And so I looked it up, and what I found is that a majority of LG TVs do actually have a camera. And can you see the camera? No. Some people think, well, your camera is going to be somewhere where you can see it, just like on your laptop.
Right.
On my laptop, I see the little dot here. I know that's my camera, right?
Yeah.
On your television, the camera is behind the screen. It's behind the screen. You can't see it. What you can do is you can take a cell phone, or you can take a flashlight and shine it around the edges and try to see the camera.
Yeah.
But what we have to start worrying about these days is some people think, well, that's harmless.
Wow.
It's harmless to have a microphone and a camera inside your TV.
Yep.
Nothing's happening. But things are happening. If your TV is a smart TV and it's connected to the internet, just think about this. It can hear everything you can say.
That's right.
It will record everything you say, just
Correct.
like Alexa does, just like all of these other smart appliances can do.
Right.
But not only that, but it can be hacked. Anything that is connected to the internet can be hacked by people with nefarious purposes. They can see inside your home. They can watch you. And these cameras are positioned to where they have a very broad view of the room. Of the broads.
Do you know if
in
you
the room.
stay like in an Airbnb or something like that and they have an Alexa, they can be listening to you through the Alexa.
Oh, no doubt.
So if you're staying in, you better unplug that Alexa and put it under a pillow, or they're listening to you.
They can hear everything
you say.
And an Alexa, just like your smart TV, records every conversation that you have in front of it.
Yes.
And if it's connected to the internet, it is transmitting that data. Now, these different companies like Samsung in particular, they say, well, we collect that data to give you a better user experience.
That's right.
That we hear what you're saying, we hear what your commands are, and that tells us what we need to do to improve our product.
That's right.
Maybe how do they actually take these conversations? I guess maybe algorithms and keywords.
Yeah.
But do you really want your television manufacturer having video of your home 24/7 to hear every conversation you have? And even if it is harmless, even if it's just going back to Samsung and LG, how do we know that this isn't going to be used for nefarious purposes? How do we know that somebody in our government isn't going to have access to this data?
Well, the answer is this: you're old.
Also true.
And the young kids don't care.
Correct. They don't care.
And that's who they're doing this for, is the
Yes.
16-year-old that doesn't give a damn about the deep state looking at them through the peephole of these little lenses all over the place. They're immune to it. They're hardened to it. As a matter of fact, they'll be the first one to tell you, the more I talk about going on vacation, the more ads I get about going on vacation.
Exactly. Absolutely.
But it's interesting, Eric, because you're right. You're 100% right. 100%.
So it's the difference, and we're in a bizarre
about
era.
Young people not caring.
Yeah, we're in a bizarre era.
Yeah, they don't.
We are the people that believe in getting in our Sunday best and jumping on the back of our horses. Why the people down the street get in their Sunday best and they get into a car and they're going, and we're thinking that the guy in the car is of the devil, because that's kind of what happened to this country back when we went from the transition from horses and buggies to cars. It's the same human experience. Well, we're the old people that don't understand this new deep state kind of mentality of watching, in the whole 1984 and the whole Orwellian thing, where these kids, they're literally being told, hey, China's watching you. And they're like, so what? I'm getting on TikTok. Bye. Have a good nice day.
I have a hard time. And Eric, I don't know. I have not talked to enough young people. Maybe Frank Catanzaro, when he's on, can enlighten us. But I have a hard time believing that people don't care about cameras. I'll tell you what, this morning, this happened to me actually today. Yeah. I got up, I was getting ready for the show. I walked through my living room and I saw this little thing sitting on the shelf. And I'm like, what in the world is that? It looked like a little tiny fan. And I went over and picked up it and I looked at it and it was a camera. I'm like, it was my son put it there, but I'm like, why is there a camera in my living room? I don't like cameras. I'm not comfortable with a camera on me.
No, I'm not either.
I don't like it. And it's hard for me to believe that younger people are okay
and I
with
don't
it.
care. And I don't care.
You don't care?
I really don't. Maybe I should. But here, you
absolutely should.
Here, check out the video. ABC World News Tonight, David Muir did a special on this. Tabitha, you sent this through for us to watch about your subject.
TV watching and listening to you. New smart TVs with internet connections able to transmit your private conversations.
So one of the things that we were able to do with the smart TV platform was actually abuse the browser to the extent that we could actually gain access to the camera that's built into the TV.
Wow.
And so what we can prove here is that with a little bit of extra code, we can turn the camera on in your browser.
Wow.
And while this is evident to you right here because we've designed it that way, this is something that we can do invisibly and actually have the camera running behind the web page that you're looking at.
So what this means is I could be sitting here watching TV from my bedroom, and you could be anywhere in the world looking at this image of me watching.
Yep, I could be sitting on a laptop in a cafe in Paris, and as long as I have a network connection, I'd be able to get into your TV and access the camera.
The kind of scary things about it is that it doesn't actually give any indication that the camera's on, and there's no little LED that shows up when the camera's on. So it could actually be watching you and you never even know.
What is a smart TV, and why is it a playground essentially for hackers?
Right. It's a computer. So instead of just being, a tube and some other electronics, now it has a web browser, and it has, a lot of devices are running Linux.
But the real danger is when people start using smart TVs for things like online banking, we can take a popular bank address and translate.
Is your TV?
Wow. Don't do your online banking on your TV.
There's not one day that I'm not working at my computer going, man, do I really want to buy this thing over? Buying stuff online still to this day freaks me out. Putting my credit card in.
It should.
Wondering if the dark web is somehow watching. That is the one that just I can't get away from.
You have to worry about
the
it.
The camera thing is creepy, but the e-commerce stuff is where I become old. It's because back in the day, you'd go into 7-Eleven, you'd hand them $5, and you would get your certs or whatever the hell it is that you were buying, and that's the way that it worked.
I miss certs, by the way.
And now your browser saves all of your pertinent data.
And not only does it save it, it saves it.
Well, everybody knows that
forever. Well, the video that wasn't there was more to the video. For whatever reason, our thing didn't play it. But they get into more nefarious things that can happen when you have this camera in your television, things that you wouldn't necessarily even think of. And that is, and I didn't even know this existed, but there are subscriber services in other countries, maybe here on the dark web as well. People can subscribe and pay money to see you in your home while you're in front of your television.
Now, I know the singer of PRL wouldn't care. He's kind of an exhibitionist.
So he'd like it.
So it depends who you are. Tabitha would probably be a little squeamish about it, but there are people out there that would they dance in front of their TV all day. And hopefully they got some kind of a look.
And what you just said, speaking of my 14-year-old, we're sitting around the fire this weekend, and she said, Mom, if you take another picture with anybody's feet in it, I can go take it and put it on the internet, or people just, if you sit in front of the camera of the computer, I can get a lot of money for your feet.
You can.
I said for my
thing
feet
right now.
Yeah, she said people pay big bucks.
They pay
feet,
big money for a lot.
My feet were on a commercial,
and you got a lot of money.
No, I didn't get a lot of money, but I got a lot of unwanted
weirdness,
emails, weirdness, sickness about my feet.
And you can just be sitting, like what you're saying, in front of the TV, and somebody can take your feet and go sell it in Brazil and make a lot of money, and you don't even know they're making money.
You got to make conscious decisions because there's ways around all this stuff. I mean,
well, there are.
My old business partner had duct tape on every computer they had. It was the funniest thing I ever saw. Every time you'd see him open up his laptop, there'd be duct tape over the microphones. I mean, he had this little cotton ball thing. And he would basically put the cotton ball over the microphone, and he had the duct tape up there. Every single laptop or computer he had.
Yeah, but think about it. You have to think all the time about what you're doing. Is that freedom? No, it's not. Annette says, I know a gal who had Google's version of Alexa that has a camera. Right. She used it for her kids. Then all of a sudden one day she heard a male voice talking to her kids. She freaked out and, of course, destroyed it. How long was it going on? A male voice talking to your kids.
And that can happen through your television or through any smart device.
Yeah.
And, and Terry said, is it watching when it's off? Honestly, I don't know. I would think anytime it's connected to the internet, even when it's off, that still connection is running. I don't know.
See, if they do a Tabitha Hassel dump of all the pictures of you in your bedroom, I hate to tell you this, no one would care. No one would care. But
no one would care, trust me.
No, and that's not a dig.
I'm never even
if
in
they
there.
did it to Vic, they wouldn't care. But if they did it to a Jennifer Aniston and they launched all this stuff online and it became Jennifer Aniston versus LG and the camera that's in the camera,
good point.
Then it would be an international thing, and then laws would be written and blah 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 blah.
Of course, but it is a big deal, because it's. I feel like we have no sense of privacy anymore. You have no sense of privacy, and I'll tell you what. On my laptop, I do keep a piece of black electrical tape
You do the
across the
same
camera.
thing.
I do that. But you know what? On my television, I don't. I don't even know where the
would
camera
you put
is.
it? Exactly.
Because you can Google that.
Well, you can. And what you and that's what exactly I was going to say. You know, some of the solutions are, because there are some solutions. One of the solutions can be that you don't use the internet feature on your television. Don't connect it to the internet. If you don't connect it to the internet, then guess what? Other
here's the thing,
folks
Tab.
cannot access your
Here's
data.
the deal, Tab. Again, it comes back to old versus new. My son doesn't even know what a Spectrum internet or a Spectrum TV subscription is.
Mhm.
He doesn't know what the box is coming off the wall. He's been doing TV to the point where he knows what Roku is. He knew what Tubi was. He knew what all these streaming services were before we even knew what it was. And then one day he comes over and goes, "Why are you using, what's that box over there?" It wasn't him. It was actually my next door neighbor. I remember that now. He goes, "Why do you have that box over there?" It was this little kid, 16 years old, at the house we used to live in.
Okay. Yeah.
And he goes, "Why do you have that? Why do you have that thing?" I go, "Well, it's TV." Don't you know what TV is? It's right in front. He goes, "Oh, well, we don't have one of those in our house."
Exactly.
I go, "What do you mean you don't have one of those in your house?" And then I, sure enough, went next door, and every single one of their TVs had a Roku on it. One of those little Roku.
But I bet those people don't understand, and maybe they do, maybe they don't care. I really do believe that most people think it's a theory, a conspiracy theory,
Yes.
that there are cameras and microphones inside your televisions watching and listening to you. I bet there's a lot of people out there who don't understand it. But don't you think as Americans, we should have some sense of privacy, that you can be in your own home, and that in your own home, you have the ability to be alone in your living room, that you have the ability to have privacy in your bedroom. But now they're putting cameras and microphones in every single thing we own.
You just sound so stressed out over there.
I'm not.
The doctor said you
over
could
it.
die if you have too much
Stop.
anxiety.
Stop.
You need to take a few deep
Don't
breaths. young
drive
lady.
at night with trucks.
Yeah.
Don't turn on your TV.
Don't
Good
say,
God,
Eric,
Tab.
don't say that what I'm saying is not valid.
I didn't say it's not valid. I
as
just don't want you to die.
Americans,
It's 100%
I don't
valid.
have tape over my televisions. I haven't even looked up my model numbers to see where my camera is.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm not stressing over it. But I do worry about the lack of privacy we have. And the more technology comes out and the more cameras and microphones they're putting into
You're
our
right.
products,
No.
we have the right
And-
to privacy.
But isn't it
and
cool?
they're not even telling us the cameras and microphones
Isn't
are
it
there.
cool to yell across the house, "Hey Siri, play Van Halen 1," and boom, Van Halen 1 starts. That's kind of neat.
There's a lot of cool things
There
about
are.
it, and
Yeah.
that's why the young people do it, not understanding the ramifications.
Exactly.
I shouldn't have to sacrifice my privacy just so I can have that luxury.
That's
Exactly.
Correct.
Well said. Okay.
Okay, what are you going to do when your
Mic
car is
drop.
attached to the internet?
Well,
and it is
A lot of
attached to
cars
the internet.
are now. If you use
Everything
Bluetooth,
is, and your car can be hacked as well.
Here's another thing.
and they can hear you in your car just as well.
In Tabitha's world, I have a hard time with the cloud stuff too.
Yeah.
I have
do
a
too.
real
I do.
hard time uploading documents and stuff to the cloud. I'm like, wait a minute. You remember the days when you used to be able to put it on I should, every time we do a segment like
Anybody
this,
could get to that.
every time we do a segment like this, we should talk old because that's what it sounds like.
bring your cane in.
I used to have this hard drive I would hook up and I have all my documents on it. Is that what you
and
call
you're
it?
right, but don't you think that younger people should be worried?
Not really.
Don't you think they should be worried that they're just thinking 10 years from now, there's going to be zero sense of privacy. Every single thing you do is going to have
Privacy's
a camera
overrated.
and a microphone.
Privacy's
Everything.
overrated.
Yeah. Well, it is a great Tab's take. We appreciate it,
It is
Tab.
a very
Can I
good
add one more thing, by
No,
the way?
you're
'Cause
done.
We never got to the solution, so I'll just throw the one in there. If you buy remember those DLP televisions? A DLP?
Yes.
I know. I'm
That
telling
shows how
you.
old
Do it with
she
your
is.
old voice. Do it with your old
Time
voice.
for us to move on.
If you buy a DLP television,
Yeah.
they do have, and I read this because in Gadget
Oh my
Review had posted solutions, and they said a DLP TV is one of those because it says you can get
Oh,
you can
Lord.
get a lot of
Mm-hmm.
the features that you want
Yes.
without it recording or videotaping.
Can you watch Twitter on DLP?
I don't even know what a DLP is.
Yeah, I'm
Then
not
why'd
so
you bring it
sure.
I'm not even sure
I
myself.
like being able to talk about a Les Paul in public and having Guitar Center ads come on with I kind of like
Well,
it. I kind of dig it.
That's Eric Johnson, Tab of the Hassle, Lizzie Sparks running the boards. I'm Vic Faust. Projo taking care of our board situation before we speak with the president of the Missouri Young Republicans, Frank Catanzaro. We have to give this update. Fox News just can't get out of their own way, stepping all over themselves. First of all, last week,
yes,
they lost a primetime night for the first time in a long time to MSNBC.
Whoa.
It was one night,
Oh my God.
but MSNBC beat
out.
Fox News. Guess what night it was?
What?
It was when everybody was watching Tucker Carlson.
Oh, makes sense.
CNN,
Makes
nobody
sense.
cares about. They're just whatever. They're just floating around. Tucker Carlson was on. So what does Fox News do now? Fox News sees that they have lost the juggernaut that they had in the evening primetime spot. Tucker Carlson's second episode, which aired last week, just under 56 million views. That 10-minute already.
Holy cow.
56 million views. Fox is averaging about a minute or about 1.6 million.
Wow.
Are you going to agree with me now?
You screwed up, Fox. You screwed up by going after Tucker.
Oh. Is he doing it in his old time slot?
They do so many good things at Fox. They don't go as far as Tabitha wants them to go, but they do so many good things.
They do.
And many of their day parts, they screwed up with Tucker. Now they're paying the price. So what do? They have doubled down on this. They sent him a cease and desist. Fox News sent Tucker Carlson a cease and desist letter yesterday saying that he can't be on Twitter talking anything anymore. Tucker and his attorney said, yeah, good luck. You guys already screwed this up. His third episode is going to air tonight. So Tucker on Twitter tonight.
Yes.
And his main subject is the Trump indictment.
Excellent.
Good. I can't wait
Now,
to hear
It will have more than 56 million viewers.
Do you guys understand even an inkling now of why
I don't know what inkling means.
Against Fox National?
No.
Because you know what? The way I see Fox National is
It's a bittersweet thing.
it is. And I'm not saying they at least cover some conservative topics. There's no question.
They cover more than some.
But the issue is that they don't want Tucker to tell the truth on their network. And they're going further than that, where they don't want him to tell the truth on any network. They want to censor the truth, not only within Fox National, but in general. And that is why they're doing this. This isn't about Tucker getting millions of views. It's not about Tucker making money. It's not about a contract. It is about them saying, you know what? The government owns us. We can't have Tucker on our network telling the truth, and he's not going to tell it over there either. Somebody wants to rein in Tucker. They don't want the truth to be known.
Here's the deal. Who cares? It's 56 million people.
And that's why.
And if you sold that at a CPM cost per million, like you did in the old days in advertising, and if you just sold it for a penny per million, this dude would be a multi-gazillionaire within one episode of this kind of an audience.
True.
And the Fox knows that they were kind of the host of this thing, and they owned this thing, and then they got rid of this thing, and they're like, we do not want to be beat by this thing. And so that's why the cease and desist has come out. I guarantee it. But here's the deal. How in the world do you stop someone from talking on social media? Who cares what the mechanism is? Who cares what the mechanism is?
We know how and why they're doing it.
That's
already.
censoring free speech is what it is.
They're not going to stop them. There's no way in hell this is going to work.
And
why would Fox even do this? They have nothing to gain.
They have to, Vic. They have to, because you know what? They probably are getting kickbacks from the government, from the Biden administration, to censor the news, to not get the truth out, to make us feel like we have the illusion of choice.
Yeah, but there's too much other truth that gets out for this.
I tell you what, if Fox keeps this up, I will be against Fox.
You know what, Vic? You say that there's other options. We have Newsmax. We have what is it? America Online News. We have podcasts like us. But you know what? We get deplatformed all the time. Look at what's happened to Newsmax and look what's happened to American Online News. They deplatform them every opportunity they have.
You know what? I don't even know
There's
how
nowhere
that.
left for free speech.
I would love to have a lawyer on here and let me know how exactly a cease and desist work when you got fired from a job. Right? It's like you can't hold a person's back the ability to make a living in what he does. I know that for a fact. Remember that used to happen all the time with Howard Stern. He would get fired from a thing and he'd cease and desist. I would love to know how the Tucker Carlson thing works, because I'll tell you what, I don't know what their audience is now. They would lose one with me if they continue down this path. I would become an
don't
anti-Fox
care.
News guy.
They don't care. Fox does not
I don't know
care.
about that.
Because their ultimate goal...
I don't think they want to be Bud Lighted.
Their ultimate goal is to silence the truth. That's my opinion. You guys don't have to agree. Their goal is to silence the truth. And they are going to continue to go after Tucker.
That. I just don't think they understand his truth.
They are part of the big cabal that runs this country.
Here's the thing. If you're destroying them and your ratings, they'll come after you. And that's, in my humble opinion, why Fox News is going after Tucker right now. Still, even when they look as silly as they do doing this, it's because nobody wants to, I say nobody. Most people are following Tucker. They're not following or watching Fox News anymore. They said, see you, sucker. We're done.
That's right.
And Foxweiser screwed up. They screwed up.
Foxweiser. That's very good.
And Transheiser and
Transheiser, yeah.
Targetheiser.
Yeah.
Tarheiser.
Yeah.
Anyway, Colheiser. We got them all. So basically, they're going after him because he's got the 55 million views or 56 million views. And his
That's
episode,
unbelievable.
And his episode on the indictment tonight's going to be even larger. I mean,
can't wait.
It's going to, hell, he may even have Trump on. You never know. Wouldn't that be something? And of course, Elon.
Did you see Tabitha's eyes light up? Oh my God. That was so cute. No, it was adorable.
Oh, you mean a happy look from Tabitha?
It was like a Christmas special. Like when
Well, when Vic said that, it had never occurred to me that he might have Trump on. I'm like,
yeah,
you never
it was like Cindy Lou Who on Christmas Day.
And of course, we talk about where we're at, our lives. And of course, we try to talk to all different ages. We try to talk to different people. And of course, you guys know we bring in the best guests that we possibly can. And I hope I don't butcher your name, Frank. I hope I do. So I'm going to let you say it just to make sure. But we have the president of the Missouri Young Republicans on with us today. First time. Welcome to Cancel This. And Frank, you can say Catanzaro.
Catanzaro was close.
Catanzaro.
Very good.
I know that name very well. I know many Catanzaros.
You know the Catanzaros, they've been in St. Louis. I joke I'm a fourth generation St. Louis, and they came over fresh from the boat in the 1880s, came straight to St. Louis.
So why did you want to become the president of the Missouri Young Republicans?
Well, Vic,
Eric's convinced that they don't exist. Like you're the only guy.
It's like you're like Bigfoot.
We're hidden. We're locked away. So, I got involved when I was in college at the University of Missouri. I was actually a journalism major there. One of the
there you go, alum.
That's right. One of the few Republicans probably left at that time, and I graduated back in 2014. So I got involved with college Republicans, which I would say is kind of like the predecessor to the Young Republican organization.
Okay,
college Republicans are on most of our college campuses. Along with some other now kind of turning points, become kind of the more popular conservative-minded group.
Yeah.
And college Republicans have kind of died out a little bit.
Yep.
But that mission still exists, just with different organizations. So I got really involved in college, volunteered on some campaigns, helped some candidates out locally. When I graduated, I came back to St. Louis, and I, still wanted to be involved and active in Republican politics. And I found the Young Republican Organization. So I actually took over our St. Louis chapter back in 2019. At that time, our membership was dwindling. We weren't doing well financially, and I kind of reinvigorated, kind of reorganized, got a good group of folks in to kind of get things going again, and we became much more active in the St. Louis area. I took over our state federation earlier this year with kind of that same goal.
Yeah.
Revitalize, grow, get more young people engaged, involved throughout this whole state. And, what's great about our organization is our goal is to recruit, train, elect the next generation of conservative Republican leaders.
Yeah.
And I'd say, we have probably a handful of state senators that are young Republicans in the state of Missouri. We probably have dozens of state representatives. So they are elected. They are around. People just don't realize that. And
Nick Schroer
is one of them. Ben Brown, who's a new state senator. Mary Elizabeth, she just actually aged out. Andrew Koenig is well aged out.
So now she's an old Republican.
She's an old Republican.
What is an old Republican and a young Republican?
Well, we actually have a term for them now, and they're called legacy members. And so they can still be.
They don't go to the float trips anymore.
They just pay a higher due every year.
So let me ask you this. So here's the deal. With Democrats, it's like a rave party. So the Democrats is a rave party. The young Republicans are like going to a church fish fry. And see the social, the young people just don't like the Republican thing. It's like stiff. I would imagine. I'm just guessing. It's stiff. It's not fun. The Democrats, they're Antifa. They're out there throwing Molotov cocktails. They're out there with transgender rainbow stuff all over the place. That's a fun organization, whether you agree with their policies or not. Conservatives are much more like Christian dating. You know, how can you guys change that? The perception, the image of what you guys are doing.
Sure. No. And that is kind of the perception that, the Republican Party has in general.
Yes.
And so what we've done is, we hold monthly happy hour events. We meet up at a bar or a local restaurant.
Yes.
And
does it have rainbows?
We're not invited because we're too old.
Does it have rave music?
It might not be that exciting, but we'll go.
I'm serious.
We'll go to places like Harpo's down the street,
and they're not building Molotov cocktails there.
Right.
No.
But here's the deal. I was being
not our members at least.
But we need to start.
I was being half serious because I think that elections from this point forward are going to be won with the young people. It is. I'm sorry.
They will.
TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. These are the people that hold the political messaging for the next 20 years.
Right.
And the Republicans need to get involved somehow. And they have to young up they have to modernize their techniques.
Right.
What are you guys doing to draw in people who want to be part of the pop culture of politics?
Yeah. And I think a lot of Republicans, young Republicans, are on those platforms. They're on TikTok. They're on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
They're on Facebook. They're on Instagram, but they're getting canceled or they're getting,
how do you combat that?
Well, we combat that by drawing more attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of times when folks are shadow banned or they're canceled from these platforms. A lot of public pressure from our side can help kind of draw more attention to that. Obviously, it's a lot harder because we're not seeing it on the other side of the aisle.
Yeah.
Although, if you've noticed a lot of these boycotts right now, we're seeing with brands like Target, Anheuser-Busch. People are waking up and people are getting tired of this woke messaging coming to them. So I do think we're kind of at a turning point right now.
Yes.
And I think that young people are part of that, but it's also our baby boomers.
Yeah.
It's all generations are just getting sick and tired of all of
How
that.
sick and tired are they? How far? What I want to know, and I don't know enough young conservative people to know the answer to this. Do they realize that for us to win against the Democrat regime, who is a very powerful force, that it's going to take more than social media. It's going to take more than spending with your dollars. We have literally a war to wage to win this country back. How far are young people willing to go to make sure we do get our country back?
Sure. And part of that is our mission as an organization is they need to be running for office. We need to get, Republicans engaged, young Republicans engaged, running for office and at least getting out to vote at the bare minimum, not just
But that's not enough
second.
anymore, Frank. It's not enough anymore for us to get people to vote because they cheat. It's not enough anymore for us to boycott because they don't care. We can't get our people into place because they cheat at the polls. They don't allow our people at the place into these different positions. How do we tell young people that it's time for you? We failed. Our generation failed. We allowed our country to slip away. And now we have to count on the younger generation to build that back up. And
Right.
if we wait on voting, we wait on people to get in the right positions, we don't have time for that. Our country will be destroyed. We have to do something now.
Exactly. And unfortunately, it's not going to happen overnight, but we are going to have to stand strong and make sure that we keep fighting that good fight because we know that we are on the right side of history and we will take our country back. And I do have a lot of faith in this next generation to do the right thing, to focus on the right issues, not get distracted. And I
pick up a gun, join a militia, get out and fight fire with fire because that's what we need. Our generation, we screwed up. We were peaceful. We did everything right. We followed the law. And then we had the Democrat rise to power because we always think as conservatives, we have to do the right thing. Oh, we'll go out and vote.
Yeah, but January 6th doesn't give Republicans a peaceful image.
I agree. But I just worry that if we don't start fighting fire with fire, we're never going to get our country back.
We do have to match them in certain ways. I do still think that the higher ground we do possess and we will overcome and we will in the end prevail.
I hope you're
Frank
right.
Catanzaro, the president of the Missouri Young Republicans, on with us. I'm curious, two-part question. One, what are the major issues, like 2 or 3 major issues For people, you're like 31, 32, right?
32. Good
Okay,
guess.
right there. Well, I did the math. 2014, graduated
Perfect.
from college. With that being said, I'm going to break. What are the two major issues for people in their early 30s, 20s, if they care about politics at all?
Yeah, and I'd say millennials, Gen Z, the biggest issue they're facing right now, it's going to be the cost of living. It's going to be inflation. It's going to be their job prospect.
You seriously hear that?
I hear it from my members. I feel it personally. I mean, you can be making more money, but inflation's just going to take that away.
I thought it would be social issues.
What money is before social any day of the week?
The social
right?
issues are the distraction issue that a good amount of young people are voting on.
Yes.
But the folks that are engaged, they're focused on the real issue, which is the economy, which is inflation, which is their bottom line at the end of the day.
You
And
can't go to a rave party with no money. That's for sure. You can't go do it. So my question is this: how in the world do you take back that messaging of the social issues? How do you take back that messaging for the young conservatives saying, this is here's Roe versus Wade. You just said it yourself. Right. Roe versus Wade is pushing a lot of people to go vote that are young. They don't even know if they're Democrat or Republican, to be honest with you.
And unfortunately, in 2022, they did say that from Gen Z, which was the highest voting demographics in the Vietnam War, they did vote overwhelmingly based on abortion and transgender rights.
Yes.
So, we have to get that message.
Why is
back.
transgender such a big deal for that generation?
It is the topic of the day. And I have been asking myself the same thing. Why is this issue so important to folks? It perplexes me just as much as it perplexes you.
Yes.
And, so what we have to do is get the message back. And these issues exist to distract. They want to distract from the real issues of the day. The Biden administration, say what you will about them, they're very good at getting the distraction issues out there to not focus on the poor job they're doing in the White House. So our goal is to keep that message, get our candidates out there to get attention, focus on the issues of the day that really matter, and redirect.
Yeah.
And like I said, this isn't going to happen overnight. We have to get back to the core issues, and we have to get candidates that are pushing that and get away from the culture wars.
And who are those? What happens from right now to 5 years from now, or right now to the next election? What happens?
We have a real opportunity in 2024 to get the right candidate at the top of our ticket to focus on the issues that exist. We don't need distractions. We need a candidate that's going to make sure that we focus on the economy, getting this country back on track and getting economic prosperity.
Let me ask you this. Why cannot people your age look at a state like Florida, and I think it is happening, in a state like California, and see the juxtapositions of the two? How can
stark contrast?
How can your generation or that generation, or even younger, not look and go, I'm a smart individual. Looks like the red states are doing better. I'm a red stater.
I think part of the problem is indoctrination that occurs early along in a lot of young people's lives through the public education system. We're seeing more. When I was in the public education system here in St. Louis County, I had no idea what political leanings my teachers had.
Really?
Now, in college, I noticed it. I didn't notice it in high school or middle school or even elementary.
If a Ben Shapiro came to Mizzou right now, what would happen?
He actually did go to Mizzou, and they protested. This was after I graduated. I think he came.
That was a while ago.
Yeah.
He's become even more popular.
It would be far worse. And they protested then. I mean, there would be probably a riot, I imagine.
At Mizzou?
Possibly.
At Mizzou?
Well,
possibly.
I think so. I don't know about a riot, but there would definitely be protesting. 100%.
You see Berkeley, California, but at Mizzou, it seems like we're way open-minded that No, we're not. I take it back. I digress.
Unfortunately not.
Yeah, I defer.
No, it wouldn't happen that way. No. So how can people get involved, or how can they help you with what you're doing?
Sure. Well, I would, say anyone between the ages of 18 and 40, get involved with the Young Republicans. We meet monthly. You can go to our website, which is stlyrs.com. We're on Facebook at St. Louis Young Republicans. And just check out our upcoming events. We're going to have a huge barbecue in October with most of our statewide public officials. It's going to be a really exciting event. Last year, we had 300 folks there, and we had Eric Schmidt. We had Lieutenant Governor Jay Ashcroft. So we try to get people engaged with all of their public elected officials at the local, state, and federal level if we can.
I think you should offer free puppies.
Free puppies. We'll work on that one. I'll add that to our...
We need to do anything we can. Not we. The Republicans need to do anything they can to get as many people as they can. And like Tabitha says, fight fire with fire. Because now's the time. I don't know that I don't know what this country would look like in 28. To be honest with you, I think it might be
If we continue,
way gone.
if we continue down the path we're going, 10 years, look at what things are going to look like. And I absolutely, Frank, I'm so glad you're doing what you're doing. People tell me all the time, well, if things are in such dire circumstances, why do we even try? We have to try. And I do agree that we do have the power. And I know it's not going to happen overnight. I know that. But I hope that our younger Republicans can get out of that comfort zone and understand that there have been periods of time in this country where we have had to fight a hard battle to get our country back. And I think we're heading back into another one of those times.
Yeah, unfortunately, I do believe at some point we will be in that scenario. And the goal is to hopefully not be in a drastic situation like that. And I do think, again, it's really going to depend on us winning the White House back.
Yes, it is.
In the Senate and holding the House in 2024. And I'm optimistic that we will. I think the American people, I think that my generation is starting to wake up and realize that the other side does not have the right policy or mindset. This is not the America that I was raised in, I'm sure that you don't recognize it as well.
No.
Hey, what do you do when you're not working with the Missouri Republicans, the young Missouri Republicans? Is this a full-time job for you?
No, it's totally volunteer.
Okay.
Yeah. So I actually work down Jefferson City. I work for State Senator Ben Brown. I'm his chief of staff.
Okay. Ben's a good friend of the show. He's
him.
been on several times. Fantastic.
Satchmo's is awesome, by the way.
Wonderful restaurant.
Yes,
we have happy hours there.
Let us know.
We're old, but
I'll
we'll
make
still
sure
come.
I'll make sure you guys get an invite. We'd love to have you guys sometime.
Hey, Frank, we appreciate you jumping in with us,
Absolutely.
catching up with us today. Anything else you want to let anybody know about, or just reminding anybody of anything?
Yeah, I just urge your listeners, your viewers, to check out our organization. It is the St. Louis Young Republicans. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, and that's St. Louis Young Republicans.
We have to support
Frank
you guys. We
Catanzaro,
have to.
the president of the Young Missouri Republicans. Thanks again, bud. We appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me.
It's
Yeah,
awesome.
It's good talk. I mean, it's good to catch up with somebody who's younger and
It is,
find
and I
out
hope
what's going on.
I hope you come back. I was outside for a few minutes dealing with some technical issues, and I'll tell you what. When you come back, we're going to have a whole new set of topics because there are so many things I would like to ask you about. Things that Eric tells me, so we'll cover that the next.
Well, maybe what we
I'd
should
love to
do.
come back.
Do you have
Let
a
me know.
do you have a counterpart to you? Do you know who the president of the Democratic Young Democrats is?
I would love for you to get them to come on.
Do you know who they
I'll
are?
have to see who the new one is, but they're usually
Let me know. Hey, let me know.
Uber liberal, like they are far left, like if
Yes,
not
of course they are.
communists,
Green
close to
hair.
communists as can be.
Wait
Yeah.
a minute. Don't they wear a mask on their face?
They do. They still wear masks.
Isn't that crazy?
Let's get
what
them
you're
on.
Up against?
Let's
That's
do
what
it.
you're up against.
It's easy.
I say we
It
do a
is.
debate. You would just wipe the floor with them, I would imagine.
I would. It'd be fun.
Yes.
I would really enjoy that.
Frank, we appreciate it, buddy. You can take off if you want to. We're good to go.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much for the time. This is cancelthisshow.com. We appreciate everybody who's jumped in to talk with us about everything that's going on. By the way, wanted to promote, we've got our Weed Wednesday coming up tomorrow. Got our real estate stuff that's going on. Also, pretty much. And then the final story, just to remind everybody, this boy, I've talked about a couple times, 14-year-old, just graduated from Santa Clara University in California, the youngest person to ever graduate from college. And then Elon Musk called him and offered him a job. He is going to work at SpaceX.
Man, that would be
as
like
a 14-year-old boy.
That would be like 14 years old and getting the call to go join Nickelback as a guitar player.
That used to be. Remember when people used to
Or
join
Foo
NASA?
Fighters. Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters.
I'm trying to put it because I'm not an
It's
intellect.
something that you
I'm
would
not
really
an
like to
intellect,
do.
but you have to do it in your own thing. What is it that you wanted to be when you were 14 years old, right? You practice guitar, and then all of a sudden, boom, there's Dave Grohl on the phone. That's how it. See, I can't relate to Elon.
His
I don't
name-
have that kind of mind.
His name is Chiron Kazi. He's actually years away from legally being able to watch an R-rated movie, but he's going to be taking care of some things for Elon. So he's going to be working with software.
There's the coffee machine kid. Don't screw me up.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's a super intelligent young kid. He said that he would listen to NPR in kindergarten and try to talk to his teachers and classmates about the stories that he would
I
hear.
love that.
Yeah, so he took tests, which showed his intelligence was in the 99.99 percentile of the entire population in third grade. So he just said he was unchallenged by his schoolwork, his teachers, his pediatrician, and parents decided that mainstream education just wasn't his path. So he accelerated his learning.
Good for him.
I love it.
So he enrolled in community college as a young kid.
I hope he doesn't grow up to be a crazy liberal.
We pray for him right now. There you go.
We should.
Hey, this is cancelthisshow.com. We appreciate you guys jumping in with us today.
Are we going to talk about what has happened?
With what?
About
I don't even know because you're asking me live, so we don't know.
Just say no, Vic.
I would like
yes,
I
one of
would
the
like
two.
to talk about the fact that we've spent so much time
But we
today
have
and
to be
other
careful.
days.
Don't we have to, okay, we have
Well,
to,
what do we? It's already happened. What's there to be careful for now?
Oh boy.
we have to make sure we understand why though. Do we know for sure?
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Okay, well, Eric, something has happened, and we talk so much about
we're not
censorship.
on Facebook
and about deplatforming. Here we are in the middle of the show, and I'm sitting here running through my brains. What keywords did we say that hit the wrong algorithm for FB to take the show down
It's
today?
on right now.
Guns, violence.
It's not on today.
I'm looking at
I know you're not, but our comment stopped a long time ago.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
Nope.
Nope, they did. We've already verified, so we don't even have to go down that path. Why is it here in the United States? Why is it
Here's
here in
somebody
America?
comment real fast.
Why?
I'm not showing any comments since 9:30.
No. Why is it in America that we have to worry about the freedom of speech, that we can't say what
No,
we
Jay
want to
Saunders just said I'm on Facebook. You guys just reported improperly.
That's why I said just
You just reported
let's just make,
improperly.
like I said, let's just make sure
Because we got to be careful about this.
we don't.
I agree with you, Eric. We do have to be careful, but when
Kathy just said hello.
well, then I don't know what's going on.
Well, then
but we
because-
can't find it.
But we're gonna go figure it
We
out.
will figure
Can
it
you
out.
can you
after the
save that?
show.
I don't know what's going on clip
And-
from her.
I hope you do, because I would like you to replay that a lot.
Linda says
because
hi.
half the time I don't know what's going on.
And then we'll figure it out tomorrow. We do appreciate.
Yeah,
you
because the
guys.
rest of us don't see it.
Yeah, maybe it's you. That's
No, it's
even
me.
scarier.
Maybe it's Lizzie and I. They just
Do not
they just cut
walk
us
close to
down.
Tabitha. Don't walk close to Tabitha.
I know what
Vic,
it is. It's her segment.
Put your bulletproof
on
vest on.
Samsung. It's her TV segment.
Yes.
No, but did you see this that somebody posted on our
Deep
Facebook
State
page?
is watching you guys.
And I love this. It's a meme, and it says, "I like coffee, fishing, hunting, and maybe 4 people."
Okay. That's Tabitha. But that's
you creep people out for no reason.
But that wouldn't apply to you,
You
because
creep-
that person
I like all the people.
that
Trust me.
person liked an entire 4 people, and that's way too many for you.
Trust me.
I said that because earlier Jay on the comment line said I don't like any.
Zuckerberg is not listening
For
to this
anyone.
show. He's not even up yet.
Okay, then maybe we're having some other type of technical
We look
difficulty.
forward
I
to
will
the
leave it
day
alone.
when they care about us that much.
Exactly. We'll get phone calls from Zuckerberg. He'll say, "Hey, can you guys not bring up the COVID word?" Oh crap!
Oh,
Look
you
what I-
just said
Look
it.
what I just did. Oh boy!
Just said it.
Guys,
I broke the internet.
Have an awesome day. We'll get out of here. Hey, we're not set for time. We'll do it. It's into the show. Join us tomorrow for canceltheshow.com. For Pro Joe, for Lizzie Sparks, Eric Johnson, the Tabitha Hassel.
Boy, I tell you what, I thought she was having a heart attack when she ran out of this room.
So did I.
I was like, "Oh my god, someone get her some
I was calling
nitroglycerin.
911 and we gave her a nitroglycerin.
the
She's fine.
comments
She's all good.
Someone get her some kind of an EpiPen or something because she is just going nuts."
No. I
That's not
literally
funny.
read
I had to
all the
jab
comments.
I had to jab my baby with an EpiPen
Oh,
many years ago.
That you're not
was
calling
scary.
Tabitha, right? Your
Yeah,
baby.
that's his baby, and he just.
I want to jab her with something else.
Come on, Tab. Don't scream anymore. The sky's not falling. Go take a nap.
Hey, I was in a panic. My comments stopped, and I love reading everyone's comments.
Yes.
All right. We love you guys. Have an awesome day. Join us for canceltheshow.com tomorrow.
Don't